Hey everybody, this is Ona. Hello, beautiful souls. I am coming to you here on this beautiful equinox of September 2021. And what I wanted to do here was share some downloads that have been coming to me. I went and asked my Akashic guides about this equinox energy, and they gave me several transmissions, which I'm going to share with you. Also, I'm going to share a couple spirit animals that have come forward just today, and that kind of asked to be part of this, as well as I may just pull an angel card to support these energies. So first of all, thank you so much for watching. And a couple pieces of housekeeping, I guess maybe one piece of housekeeping. Hi, Joanna, how are you? Is that I will be putting up, like I did the webinar last Saturday. So thanks so much to those who showed up. I will be posting the highlights in a day or two as soon as I can get that up. And I'm actually offering a course on the 12 spiritual laws. So anybody's interested in that, just watch for those highlights. Okay, so let's get into it. The first transmission, when I was asking about the equinox, I'm just going to read word for word what came through. So let's start. The equinox, they said, is a tipping point of major significance in Earth history as well as human history. The events leading up to this juncture, including and not limited to the 11/11 gateway and December solstice of 2020, the March equinox and June solstice energies of 2021, and the recent opening of the Lion's Gate, have all initiated us with light codes that are designed to take us into the new dimension. This is a time when we are being asked to take action on our beliefs. The time for action is here. The agents of destruction and dissolution are playing the part they were meant to play, of dismantling and deconstruction of that which no longer serves the higher path of the collective and the consciousness of the planet as a whole. For make no mistake that you and your planet are one, inseparable. But their power, that's the power of the agents of deconstruction and dissolution, must be, their power to destroy must be kept in check even as it runs its course. Do not try to fight this power overtly. Rather, acquaint yourself with the letter of the law. Know and uphold your rights, the rights of the living under natural law. Listen and watch for guidance. And when you receive guidance that is clear and resonates with truth in service to higher love, take decisive action without hesitation. So really asking us to step up and just be really clear and sharp and on point here. Okay, know that you are protected and that the forces of light surrounding you at this time are legion and unwavering. Again, we say, know your rights and know that none other but God's law defends them. Stand by the letter of the law. Then they just tacked on this, heart activation remains a key factor. By staying in your heart, you will stay within your rights. And I think that's a really great point. It's like when we're in our heart space, it's really, really hard for ego to take over. Joanna, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay, so the second transmission really kind of plays on this first one and expands on it. So let me just go into that one. And they first remind us of this, I think it's one of Newton's laws. They said objects in motion remain in motion unless and until acted upon by some force. Observe the trends in the greater collective. Know that these trends, should they not meet with significant resistance, will continue their trajectory. This is the time to decide for yourself what that should mean for yourself, for your loved ones, and for humanity. So watching current trends, and if this doesn't meet with any kind of resistance, kind of play that forward and see what that might look like for you. Okay, back to the transmission. Forces of chaos are best met and neutralized not by violence, but with clarity and level-headed intention. God's law is clear and unequivocal. Human law, in alignment with God's law, is clear and easy to understand, fair and just to the common man. It changes not due to station or identity. This is a time when reason must stand side by side with intuition to create a unified front. Unity is paramount. A people of one mind cannot be vanquished. Decide what you stand for. Envision your desired outcome, both for yourself individually and for the collective. Find commonality. Do not focus on differences. When enough of humanity steps forward with unified intention, aligned with higher love, and begins to take action, even small action towards that intention, the tide will turn. Fear not that the odds are against you. It need not be a great percentage of humanity, even a very few holding a unified higher vision and acting according to the laws of truth can effect miracles. Speak your mind and fear not. Fear is the true enemy. You know this, yet it will continue to test and torment you until you take a stand and recognize that giving into fear, no matter how justified it seems, has never done anything but feed the forces of fear and fuel fear's agenda. It is time to take a stand, shoulder to shoulder, and draw a line that cannot be crossed. The law upholds you. Remember this. True law is on your side. And a final message, take heart, a great light is upon us. This is the true dawning of the new era, the breaking of the sun on the horizon. The Christ energy is stationed now on the planet. The energetic bones of the new scaffolding is in place. It remains now only to follow through with what has already been done. Now is the time for action. Okay, so if you were at my webinar, you probably remember I was talking about like the architects and the builders, right, of creation. And there are, if you're sticking with me this long, you very likely feel into it for yourself, but feel into, if you identify as somebody who's here actually for the new earth, what's coming forward, what we're bringing forward. I was told by my guides very clearly, at least 3 years ago, you're here for the reconstruction. If you resonate with that, if you too are here for the reconstruction, just one thing that just keep in mind, we're not here to be martyrs. We are here to build the new structures that need to come into place. And it's really important that these new structures, that we start thinking about and creating these structures now before the old structures are all kind of tumble down, because as this chaos happens, there has to be new things that people can jump onto, right? And so I mentioned there were a couple of spirit animals that came forward today. And the first one was this morning. I went for a lovely hike with a friend of mine in the woods, and it was just really magical. We we're standing under this little waterfall and kind of letting the water wash over. But on the way back, we were driving back, and all of a sudden this great big eagle flies up right over the car. And it was just like so perfect. It's the Equinox. But the eagle really, I'll put a link in the description later to my eagle video, but it really does talk about kind of holding your truth and your clear vision, right? And then related to that clear vision, the second animal that came forward just before I came live today is the bee. And I researched a little bit. I was researching last year about bee, and I read this book, a whole book about the bee swarm and how they swarm. And I thought it's such a beautiful, beautiful metaphor for what's happening right now on the planet for humanity. When a community of bees decides that they're going to need to find a new place, right? The old queen will swarm. About 2/3 of the bees will go with the old queen to find a new place and a new hive. And it starts with the scout bees, just a few bees that they find the perfect space, and it takes them a while. And there's a lot of just trying this and trying that, and through trial and error and communicating with each other, deliberation, they figure out, well, this is going to be our best choice, the choice that we found. First, they scout out all these places, and then they deliberate on which one is going to have the best probability for survival. And so they all have to get into this one mind, and it takes some communication, and it takes some getting together. And people, bees trying things and finding different potentials and coming back and communicating and checking them out. This is a whole process around it. And this is a process that I think we can start or have. I feel like it's already started, for communities of light workers to get together and begin to explore what these new structures are going to look like, how they're going to operate. But the key thing about the bee swarm is that once the bees have one mind around this, once they are 100% like clear, all the scout bees have agreed that they know which one that they're going to. Just a few tiny little bees in the hive, all of a sudden they'll start vibrating their wings really fast, right? And it changes, the vibration changes of the whole hive, and the other bees start to vibrate. And at some point, the scout bees all lift off and they start flying directly towards the new home. The rest of the bees will start flying too. They'll all take off. And if I've never actually been in a swarm, but I've seen videos and I understand it's an amazing experience. If you're in the middle of a bee swarm, there are just bees everywhere. It's really, really chaotic and they're flying in all different directions. But scientists have actually tracked the bees, and the scout bees are flying like straight as an arrow towards that hive, whereas all the other bees are flying like this, and it looks like chaos, but they eventually they follow the scout bees. So I think when in this transmission, when they're talking about don't worry about, the feeling like the odds are against you, or feeling like there's so teeny tiny numbers of awakened people, don't worry about that, because the bees show us that it can work. It's in nature. That pattern is in nature. All it takes is a very few who are really clear about where we're going, and the rest, even if they're milling about, they feel it. They feel that vibration and they follow, and they all get to their home, and it works. And it's worked for thousands of years for the bees, and it feels to me like that's such a beautiful power animal for this time. Okay, so I guess I just want to close here with, I'm going to just draw an angel card and just asking the angelic realm for their blessing for this time. Again, if you missed the first part of this, this is the equinox. Equinoxes are always a tipping point, but I'm feeling that this is a super substantial tipping point, not just in humanity's history, but also Earth's history. It's huge right now. And, a tipping point is going to go into decline, or it's going to go into ascension. Is going to, and right now we're at this point we're still in this bifurcation process where we've got the old energies crumbling down, we've got the new energies coming up, and so we've got both of this happening at once. Okay, so at this equinox, we may start seeing certain things in the old matrix starting to really deconstruct. All right, so don't be surprised and don't let it alarm you. Joanna, yeah, you agree, absolutely. Don't be alarmed, and the guidance is all saying just fear not. Fear is the enemy, because there's a lot of stuff out there about spiritual warfare. There is, but it's all like the basis of the spiritual warfare is the fear. Any fear within. It's time to really eradicate that, and it's okay to feel the fear, but really address it. And like the guidance said, know your rights, know the letter of the law. And I keep getting, it's super, super important right now to start being very, very clear and aware of what the laws are, the fundamentals, because that's the fundamentals are what we're going to be building this out of. All right, so enough blabbering of my part. Let's get to the angel guidance or angel blessing. And oh my, okay, this is the card that came up. It says actually call on your angels. again, a reminder, don't forget, our angels are here. The angelic realm is so, so, so present right now, but they require us to actively ask for their assistance. So thank you, Katie. Ask for their assistance. You know, the all our spirit team is here. This is the time of, it's really the time of 0 point where things are really happening. It is the time for action, but we don't have to do it alone. None of us has to do it alone. So, you know, and one last thing is, like, I think many of us have been doing this lonely journey for years, months, years, decades, some of us as lifetimes, right? We've been doing this lonely journey and finding ourselves. And this is the time for, those of you who feel like you've found yourself, and even if you're not quite clear on your purpose, you know that you know who you are, right? And you're ready. You feel like they feel this calling. It's like, it's time for me to really step forward. Know that, it is time, and that you are more powerful than you know. And especially when we call on our angels, and especially when we begin to gather, right, to exercise our right to assemble, and in whatever way, and whether it's through telepathy or whether it's through physically getting together or online, whatever it is. But it's time for light workers to really come together and start, actively finding creative ways to build new structures, to whatever it is that calls you. Don't be afraid to start reaching out to other people who are of like mind, and you will find each other. We're finding each other right now. It's a very beautiful, powerful time to be alive. All right, so thank you so much. I so appreciate your all your support. And again, watch for the next video. Hopefully, will be up in a couple days. It'll be highlights of that webinar, and it should be up soon. All right. Oh, thank you, Joanna. Have a wonderful week and enjoy this equinox energy. You're welcome, Julie. Oh, wait.